Welcome to the 2021 King Films Bracketology update. Let's start with the bubble again. Start with the top, a new addition, UCLA. This is our only new addition. They replace VCU in a swap in the 11 and 10 seeds after they lost to Oregon State in the Pac-12 tournament. They're pretty safe in the field in my estimation, but it is something to be considered as they are now on the bubble. Syracuse suffered a close loss to Virginia. Louisville also is out in the ACC tournament. These teams are probably safe. Now we get to more unsafe territory with St. Louis. Their work is done as well in the A10 tournament. I have them in right now, but they are certainly in a tenuous position on the bubble. Utah State is still at work in the Mountain West, probably has to earn another victory in that tournament. Drake is also done, and they're in a very interesting position on the bubble, but I think they will at least get one of those fill-in positions. Whether they get to use it or not, I don't know, but in the field right now for me, but they have to watch out for any bid thieves. Michigan State also in a limbo as they lost to Maryland today. Could have had it locked up, but they didn't. They fall. They're still in, but it's close. Colorado State, the last team in the tournament, they are still in their Mountain West tournament as far as I'm concerned after they beat Fresno State, so they will move on to the next day. Seton Hall, another team that could easily get in with another win in that Big East tournament. They would have to beat Georgetown to send them to the final, and then the auto bid will be within reach for them, so they won't even have to deal with any of this bubble stuff anyways. Boise State suffered a bad loss to Nevada, their third of the season, and they are currently out of the field. Could be in. Ole Miss still at work in the SEC. They need to keep working in order to get that bid. Xavier also out of the Big East tournament. They were upset by Butler, so they are out right now and probably will not be in the tournament. Could be a fill-in team, but we'll see. Memphis and SMU still have work to do in the American tournament. St. John's probably not in the field in the Big East, and I'm not even going to include it. Eighth bubble team. It would have been Duke, but they declared themselves ineligible for the tournament, so that is how the bubble stands right now. Getting into the bracket, it's pretty similar to last week, or a couple days ago, but let's get into it. Gonzaga beating the 16 seed there, and then Rutgers beating LSU in the 8-9 matchup. I've got Oklahoma State beating UCSB. Oklahoma State is a very hot team right now, and then Tennessee beating Winthrop. Well, I look forward to seeing Tennessee in the SEC tournament. I've got Oklahoma State beating Tennessee as they scored a huge win over West Virginia, and I think they're a really hot team right now. Oklahoma State against Gonzaga, who beat Rutgers, and I've got Oklahoma State pulling off the upset here. Moving on to the bottom, Wisconsin, UCLA. I've got UCLA, even though they've lost their last couple. They've all been close, and they've kind of gotten gypped by the refs. Wisconsin almost lost to Penn State, so I'm going to give UCLA the win in the shocker here, and I'm going to give Kansas the win after they beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma, Virginia Tech, I'm going to give Oklahoma the win. Even though they lost to Kansas, they did beat Iowa State. Virginia Tech has not found a groove since their COVID pause, and then they're one and done in the ACC tournament to UNC, which we'll see in a little bit. Arkansas, Grand Canyon, give me Arkansas there, and then Arkansas to beat Oklahoma in the next round. Don't think Oklahoma's up for the task, as they have dropped to a 7 seed. Number 3 versus number 2 in the Kansas-Arkansas matchup. Give me Arkansas until I see unfit. But in the Elite 8, I'm going to take Oklahoma State, as I feel that they are the hotter team right now, even though Arkansas, there's no real reason to pick against them either. But give me Oklahoma State. They're going to win this matchup every once in a while. Moving on to the right side. Baylor against the 16, I'll give Baylor the win easily. Despite them taking Kansas State down to the wire today, I think that was an anomaly for this team, and I think they're still very suited to make a run. The good teams do need these close games, so we'll see what happens there. Maryland, UConn, I'm going to have UConn. Both teams are still alive in their respective tournaments. The team that does better, I'd probably pick here, so I think UConn is, just because they have a better shot at beating Creighton than Maryland does Michigan, but we'll see. Toledo, Virginia, I'm going to have Toledo. Virginia did not sell me in their victory over Syracuse. And Colorado, I'm not sure. They haven't beat Cal yet, but they probably are going to win. So I would pick them, but I'm just going to pick Colgate. So don't even blame me, because they could still lose to Cal and probably be a 7-seed team. So I'll give Colgate the win, and then I'll give Colgate the win over Toledo. They are ranked 8th in the net rankings. So they'd be a tough out for any tournament team, as I see them getting underseeded by the committee. In that Colgate-Baylor matchup, I've got Baylor, obviously, so they easily cruise into the Elite Eight. Oregon-Syracuse, give me Oregon. Syracuse gave Virginia a tough fight, but I don't think Virginia is as good as Oregon at the present moment. Oregon has been very hot, and there's no reason to pick against them. Houston-Weber State, give me Houston, but then give me Oregon to beat Houston. But we'll see what happens. If Houston can clinch the American tournament, I might give them the nod here. But we'll see what happens. UNC, I'll give them the win over BYU, and then Ohio State, I'm going to give them the win over Iona. I'm going to have Ohio State beating UNC, and then Ohio State again beating Oregon to send them to the Elite Eight. I'm really interested in the Ohio State-Purdue game tomorrow. I personally don't know who's going to win, but I am anticipating a great matchup there. On the bottom left, we've got Illinois against Cleveland State. Give me Illinois. Loyola Chicago taking on Missouri. I like Loyola Chicago here. Missouri did not sell me today, even though they won against Georgia, but we'll see how they perform in the next round. Creighton, Utah State and Michigan State. I'm going to have Creighton winning. They're still alive in the Big East. We'll see what happens. They could get the auto bid out of there. Texas Tech, Liberty. Give me Texas Tech. Close loss to Texas. They still did sell me. Give me Texas Tech to beat Creighton. That's a very close matchup. I don't even know who to pick, so it could go either way. Then I'm going to have Illinois beating Loyola Chicago, and then subsequently Texas Tech to send them to the Elite Eight. Couple of upsets here. West Virginia against Abilene Christian. I'm just going to give Abilene Christian the win here. I'm not sold on West Virginia. They're playing all these teams, great teams, may I add, close, but the losses are starting to mount for them, and I'm not sure that they could win in the clutch. But they're obviously the better team here, but I'm going to give the huge upset to Abilene Christian. And then Villanova, I think their season's pretty much over after the loss today to Georgetown, as I predicted in the Big East tournament predictions. Check that out in the top right. And then Louisville beating them, even though Louisville is not that hot of a team, losing to Duke quite handily, may I add. Maybe they will even have COVID since they were exposed. We'll see. But I have them beating Villanova, and then Abilene Christian making the run to the Sweet 16. Who will they play? Let's answer that. SDSU, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech to win that game. SDSU gave a horrible performance against the lowly Wyoming team. Alabama to beat Drexel, and then Alabama to take care of Georgia Tech. But I think that could be a closer game than a lot of you guys think. Alabama will take care of Abilene Christian to send them to the Elite Eight, where they will take on Illinois. I will have Illinois winning until they lose the Big Ten tournament, or Alabama loses the SEC. To give me an answer, give me Illinois to go to the Final Four. Last regional here, we've got Michigan, Hartford, and then Florida, St. Bonaventure. I'm going to have St. Bonaventure beating Florida, but we'll see what happens. Florida played Vanderbilt really close. I did not like that. Vanderbilt did hit all their free throws to make it a close game, but give me St. Bonaventure for the time being. Florida is a very good team. We'll see what they have to bring tomorrow in the SEC tournament. Michigan, St. Bonaventure, give me Michigan to win that matchup. USC, Drake, Colorado State. Give me Drake after USC toiled with Utah. They took them to double overtime. They just barely beat UCLA the other week. So give me Drake to win against number 5 seed USC. But they would first have to take down Colorado State, which is tough out in itself. So winner of that match, whoever it is, will beat UCLA. I think they'll already be rolling. Purdue, North Texas. Give me Purdue. And then give me Purdue to beat Drake and Michigan. I think Michigan could be a little bit out of sorts here. They just lost to Michigan State. So I hope Purdue maybe beats Ohio State tomorrow. So then we could see this perhaps Michigan-Purdue game, assuming Michigan can beat Maryland. And then I have Purdue winning for the time being. We'll see what happens. I'm very interested in that potential matchup in the Big Ten tournament. St. Louis beating Florida State. I really don't think Florida State's all that good right now. I have them losing in the ACC tournament tomorrow. Don't at me, though. Texas, UNC Greensboro. Give me Texas to win that, and then Texas to clean up St. Louis in the second round. At the bottom, Iowa to take down Oral Roberts, and then VCU to take down a cold Clemson team who got blown out the other day in the ACC tournament to end their season on a low note. Iowa, Texas. Give me Texas to win that one. It will be a close game. We'll see what Texas and Iowa have to offer in their tournaments as both advanced. I was really surprised by Texas's grit against Texas Tech, so I'm going to give them the win here, but it's all going to come to an end when Purdue makes it to the Final Four. In the Final Four, we've got Oklahoma State against Illinois. I'm going to give Illinois the win, and then Baylor the win over Purdue. Not sure if Baylor will make it this far. Again, they played Kansas State close, but I would have them doing it. But then I'd have Illinois winning the championship for the first time on Bracketology. Wow, Illinois to win the championship. So I obviously have them winning the Big Ten, so let's have them winning the NCAA championship as well. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe and comment your predictions below.